he went outside and was on the go by her house. Cheerfully greeting the who's bobbing down the side of the slope, and she made such speed over the packed snow that the sled nearly coasted into the road over the field at the base of the pit. Despite the danger, and despite having to bail out and along the curves of the street, he insisted on continuing to sled. But in their children told the story as they listened to fascination and understood the exhibitions of undertook and worked as the new violations. He brought us a caution, expecting us to have a sense of direction, teachers who were on the bridge, and a boat at the sea, with vivid key to ignore and home to the constants lost pages in every possible way. We often may explain that there were no such species in frigid Canadian waters, where we had no measures of our land being cold. He was singing in lyrics, related his own independence and being his island on the big house and unexpected animation. He was a fearless storyteller, narrating anecdotes about how the Americans and being in the food store. Once, after he had been murdered, he laughed and asked how his nephew wanted to refer to the guy as Captain Computer or Uncle Captain. Outings were always more fun when Uncle Computer was here. We did Gassy Warner at Boardrooms Hall, go kart at 46, bowling at Cornfield Park, listening to Uncle Computer and Phenomenon, visiting the British Beach at Lake Ontario, going to a magician's show, and even Chief's office at Arizona, where Uncle Computer, after wearing a particularly prestigious season declared himself slightly dizzy as he staggered out of the light and weakly buried into the stage. He stepped into stage as a special guest of honor and promised to help our musicians. Our campus was recruited over the following relations and desires and goals. The pieces is complaining that he should have been a professional singer. With his voice, he similarly impressed the choreography during the session for the kids at Christian College, where he kindly invited his family to join him. He was generous in sharing his influences with others, singing for public members of the time of being affiliated with churches inside. Uncle Peter had individual ways. Regarding attendance in the sisters' had treated him as a perpetual video he would carry observe with critical exasperation. You all parents were messy. I wasn't born yesterday. I was one the day before yesterday. He was a boundless scholar for one studying how to teach us that increase in strategy and copying operating patterns, and debating the relative merits of Picard, Troy, and Riker, and starting officers from Star Trek and Next Generation. He conveyed to us equipment, the refusing to suffer fool laughter, although fools might sometimes have themselves enlightened depending on circumstances, and the power of an uncertain kind of being silent. He was employed in all things children enchanted by science fiction carried by poets, having spent hours assessing the development of chemical complexes in the 1960s, and whether it would be no school to have more things added clause, the optic glass of cycle, or Peter Parker's letter of power and responsibility. His ability to find fun and adventures matched only by his capacity for care and kindness. He took great pride in the accomplishments of all of his men. He proudly accompanied many major Canadian celebrations for academic career, including a dinner party organized by my mom and dad. Once someone was there, Uncle Peter made his eggs for breakfast, thoughtfully working to distract two scared children from worrying with popular non-lunch dinners. He thought of others as boring himself, supporting his sisters during all-day sets in the chapel, thanks to the services for their common ground. One Christmas, after the candlelight service, we all stood outside the church after midnight in the still cold weather, stars shining up. Harry was walking across the party, going to the church string house, directly in the choir so loud the hands they just on the side. Uncle Peter looked at the stars. Breakfast was white on his face and frosty black light, as he looked so children. His utter astonishment reached home with the first then all of a sudden, his heavenly family is deceived. That brings me peace.
Morning. Everyone hear me? Morning, everyone. And it is my privilege to be here to represent the University of the West Indies at this time. I know Professor Dale Weber had prepared a video, but it seems as if we have some technical issues. So I'm just going to read a couple words from Prof. Dale Weber. My name is Camilo Trench, and I am currently the lecturer at the University of the West Indies Discovery Bay Marine Lab. And I am a student of Peter's, for lack of a better word. And we worked together for about 10 years. On behalf of the University of the West Indies at the Mona campus, I wish to extend sincere condolences to the family of the late Mr. Peter Gayle. I also wish to acknowledge the exceptional contributions Peter made to the life of this institution through his exemplary and expansive work in marine sciences, especially at the Discovery Bay Marine Laboratory, DBML. His contributions to national development are too noteworthy in the years he dedicated to service in organizations such as the Jamaica Defense Force, Coast Guard, and the National Environment and Planning Agency. Peter's life can be easily regarded as a success. As a scholar, he had several publications to his credit, along with serving as a peer reviewer. As a marine scientist, he was always courteous about how else he could better marshal our resources to protect and preserve the marine environment. His dedicated service had certainly left our part of the world better than he found it. I will remember Peter fondly for how he approached life, with much vision and vigor. He loved the DBML with a passion that few can equal, and his prowess and calm as a diver made him the perfect fit for safety manager for the hyperbaric chamber operations at the Marine Lab. I can easily recall many discussions we had about our ongoing projects and those we hope to initiate. As a researcher, it was always a pleasure to share ideas with a kindred spirit. His passion for marine sciences has served us well. I'd like to think some of it is owing to his stubbornness. I like to think of Peter's stubbornness as a dogged tenacity, which he certainly put to good use for the causes that he championed. Balanced with his accomplishments in his discipline, with his talent as a singer, had Peter not become a scientist, he might have earned quite a reputation as a bass singer. I will remember Peter because he had a big heart for everything he did. He certainly carved his niche throughout his life and has left us a grand legacy to celebrate and emulate. We are grateful for all that he shared with us, and we will greatly miss him. Thank you. That's from Professor Dale Weber. And I just want to add to the end of this that on behalf of another university entity, University Sub-Aqua Club, of which Mr. Gayle is a founding member, they would like to send their condolences and maximum respect to the life of Peter Gayle. Peter Gayle has helped to train many divers, including myself. He helped to upgrade me from an open water diver. Very grateful for that. So imagine the lives that Peter has impacted in training persons in the field of marine sciences. And his plethora of accomplishments can go on and on. So thank you very much, and we celebrate the life of Peter.
Good morning. I represent the Technological and Environmental Management Network, TEM, of which Peter was a founding partner. And we at TEM really regret this untimely passing of this knowledgeable and gentle giant. Peter, along with the other members of the TEM Directorate, was a member of the founding, we like to call them the founding cohort of the Natural Resources Conservation Department, the NRCD. The NRCD went on to be known these days as the NEPA. But a marine ecologist par excellence, Peter played a pivotal role on the TEM network team in assessing impacts and devising practical mitigation plans for a number of projects of national importance. These include projects like the development of Kingston Transshipment Port, Kingston Wharves, Falmouth Cruise Port, the Ocho Rios Cruise Port, to name some. Peter led the ecology team since the inception of TEM in 1993. During this period, coming face to face with dangerous creatures of the marine environment. But those of us who know Peter know that those creatures met their match. Peter was a first-class scuba diving instructor, a trained hyperbaric medical assistant. You know, the hyperbaric technology is very important. He saved many lives of divers who suffered from the dreaded diver's bends. And his time at the Jamaica National Reserve, serving his country for over 12 years. And the level of expertise that Peter brought to TEM in all of this was enormous. But not only will Peter be remembered for his sterling contribution to the execution of TEM projects, but also his assessment of the environment without fanfare and at great risk to his personal safety. Today I want to talk about the dives in croc-infested waters or the dives in polluted environments. That's the kind of things that's involved here. But in addition to his work in marine ecology as an ecologist, he will also be remembered for his building of strategic relationships that will be carried on by TEM and in the future. Relationships with fellow professionals, such as, and from whom I bring condolences, Pierre Diaz, our oceanographer and a director of TEM, Bernadette Charpentier, marine ecologist, Dr. Alison Richards, our socioeconomist, and Peter's team of scientists, working together to strengthen the capability of the TEM network. The TEM team extends our sincerest condolences to his family, friends, and fellow environmental professionals. Thank you.
This poem, are you all hearing me? This poem was written by my sister for Uncle Peter. Okay. This poem was written by my sister for Uncle Peter. Discovery Bay. Reds and oranges fill the sky as the sun sets on you for the last time. You didn't see it that day, for you were lying in a hospital bed racked with pain. The times were perfect for a private goodbye, for I did not even get to meet your eye. I woke up ready to take on the world, but when I heard the news, my mind only swirled. You lay out there, no family, no friends, only your memories trying to take amends. We promise you, trying to make amends. We promise your stuff is safe here with us. Your legacy is steady, not a fuss. We cleaned up your house, made sure it was neat. We hugged your pups and gave them a treat. We will love you. We will love them with all that we used to love you, when we promise they will never feel blue. I love you, Uncle Peter, with all my heart. I'll watch you way through and realize we were never apart. Sleep well and never forget. Meeting you is something people never will regret.
The Coast Guard.
Good morning. JCA 2290, Lieutenant Senior Grade Peter Gayle, enlisted in the Jamaica National Reserve, which is the reserve arm of the Jamaica Defense Force, on February 24th, 1990. Some persons recall Peter's time as a recruit during the annual camp of 1990. He stood out with his bulky frame when compared to the other skinny, fragile-looking recruits. Persons recall that from then, Peter had a high level of enthusiasm and determination to overcome obstacles, as he did by overcoming the military torture of the camp's physical activities. After completing basic training and gaining an introduction to naval life at the JDF Coast Guard National Reserve, Peter received a Queen's Commission on December 21st, 1992, in the rank of sub-lieutenant. Over the years, Peter's attributes earned him the respect of his JDF colleagues as he made stellar achievements during his tenure with the JDF Coast Guard National Reserve. Peter is remembered as a Christian, and he was considered to be a reservoir of knowledge and a resource for advice. Peter's words of encouragement were considered by some to be as forthcoming as the melody of songs he occasionally spontaneously sang to the listening ears of his colleagues. To both his regular force and reserve force colleagues, Peter was seen as being calm under fire and laughing every chance he got. Some can still hear his laughter ringing in their ears. Lieutenant Senior Grade Gayle attained various military qualifications, such as compressed air first-class diver and seaman. Peter qualified himself as a scuba diving instructor in 1986. His other qualifications include dive medic and paramedic in 1989, technical nitrox and mixed gas diver in 1992, and watchkeeper Her Majesty's Jamaica ships in 1994. As a watchkeeper, Peter performed duties as navigator on board military offshore patrol vessels, more specifically on board Bay Class, Fort Class, Hero Class, and Point class patrol vessels. Peter is remembered as having a passion regarding the achievement of full competency in the use of small arms. He was known as someone who was extremely keen on his safety procedures and safe weapons handling skills. Peter was a stickler for maintaining such safety vigilance amongst his colleagues and to those whom he managed and supervised on the weapons range. Peter's competence and fondness for small arms resulted in him showcasing himself over the years as among the best on the pistol range. Peter's appointments over the years at the JDF Coast Guard National Reserve included, for example, ship officer, diving officer, weapons officer, and navigating officer, Her Majesty's Jamaica ships. Peter was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Junior Grade in 1995 and to Lieutenant Senior Grade, which is the equivalent to an Army Captain, in June 2000. Peter retired from military service in April 2010. Some considered Peter to be a gentle giant. He was considered a mentor, someone who his military colleagues would always have conversations with and get guidance and assistance with issues, many issues, environmental matters, for example. One of Peter's fellow divers, who shares the same name, the first name as Peter, recalls Peter's prowess from an evolution in 2002 when the JDF Coast Guard National Reserve was on annual camp in Discovery Bay, St. Anne. His namesake recalls, JDF personnel were having difficulty recovering an anchor from the seabed. The diver on board the offshore patrol vessel, his namesake, suited up and went into the water to investigate why the anchor was stuck. The diver found out that it was snagged on a coral head. That diver was very slim and small in body, could not free the anchor after repeated attempts. Several attempts were made, but with no luck. So the executive officer at the time, Lieutenant Senior Grade Al Stewart, who is here, made a decision. The diver should stop his effort to recover the anchor, and they should contact the big P, which is the big Peter, because the small Peter wasn't able to remove the anchor. So Peter, being a dive master, that's big P, being a dive master, suited up, went into the sea, looked at the anchor, assessed the situation for a few seconds, and then with one hand, grabbed the anchor, twisted it a few times, and pulled it free. Needless to say, the slim diver, who was in the water observing Peter, Big P, was shocked at the ease in which Peter had accomplished this task. When they got out of the water, Big P said to Little P, smirking, "You need more porridge, man." I'm advised an all-rounder, a colleague, a friend, a mentor, an officer, and a gentleman. Gone too soon, but God knows best. On behalf of his JDF family, both serving and retired, both regular and reserve, we wish you fair winds and following seas, Peter. Fair winds and following seas.
We read in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to rejoice. When our brother was born, his entire family rejoiced. He had been in a motor vehicle accident in utero. Our dear mother had acted heroically. She had used her body to prevent our youngest sister Faye from being thrown through the windscreen. So our mother crashed through the glass instead. As she recovered, our family hoped and prayed that despite her unconsciousness and injuries, our sibling would be whole and unscathed. Peter's birth at Easter time, on Wednesday, April 13th, the day before Holy Thursday in 1960, was a time for thanksgiving and rejoicing. Our parents called him Peter, Christ's rock. The resurrection of Christ had new meaning for Peter's family. A time to build up, a time to laugh, a time to embrace, a time to love. Peter built up. He laughed, he embraced, he loved. Peter brought resilience, courage, joy, and love to our lives. He was endearing, honest, trusting, tender-hearted, and kind. He would empathize instinctively